Mic check. Looking good. Bit of a camera check. All right. We are looking to be live. Let's just confirm that real quick. Offline and live. Look at that. Whoops. Just mute that bad boy. And I'm just going to bring up the chat on my phone. Stand by. Oh, it doesn't know I'm live yet. Well, I'm sure it'll figure it out. All right, so tonight, I'm afraid I've only got about 30 minutes for this stream. I totally forgot, but I've got to pick my mom up at the airport. So yeah, I got to do this stream, then jet and take off and, well, not jet on a plane, but jet to the airport. So anyways, yeah, hope you guys are doing all right. Yeah, so tonight we're just going to do a quick little Easter egg on this site. I had an idea for one. I was thinking when you click this logo here, it could play some kind of little animation thing within it. I'm not really sure what that's going to look like just yet. Maybe we make it start spinning. Maybe we make it bounce around or move the stuff inside the logo. I'm not too sure yet, but anyway, we'll see what looks good. All right, I think Twitch just figured out that I'm live, so let's bring that up real quick. Dashboard. Oh, I see. So it must be a different section of Twitch. Anyway, no worries. We got it now. Alrighty, so let's get cracking. I guess first things first, we got to figure out what we want that animation to actually look like. Or, you know what, maybe better yet, why don't we get a little bit of state management going first so that when you click on it, it's in a different state, so to speak, and then we can start playing with the animation after that. Hello viewer, welcome. Thanks for joining us. So yeah, first things first, state management. So for that, we're gonna need to bind an event and have a kind of toggle function on the go. So I guess first let's make that toggle function. This is mostly, I think this is the quiz section of the, oh, this is the homepage. My bad, we need that to be in here. So this is our parallax business. Let's get a new section on the go here. And we're gonna call this logo, whoopsie doozies, logo Easter egg. So first things first, let's make our toggle function, toggle egg, let's call it that. That's kind of a cool name. And I don't think we're gonna need the click event for that, so we don't need any arguments for that function. Oh, we lost you, viewer number one. Oh well, back to 0. No worries. Not about that right now. So toggle egg, this is just going to be a simple state toggle. And I guess we can do that with a class perhaps, or yeah, why not? Let's do a class. So, all right. Oh, I guess we are going to need that then so that we can access the button that was clicked, which in this case will be the logo equals, so e.current_target. So what are we going to say here? If, do we want an if statement or do we want to do it ternary style? Yeah, I'm thinking ternary style would be better. So ooh, shoot. I am gonna have to switch that back to Vimeo. This is unrelated, sorry. I was just playing around with using YouTube over Vimeo for my video embed, but I think that's a no-go on YouTube at the moment unless we can disable this title somehow, which I get the feeling we're not going to be able to do. So there you go, back to Vimeo. We'll just drop this in there and comment it out just so we've got it, just in case we do figure out a way to do that. Anyhow, back to the Easter egg. Just refresh that and look at that. There you go. Now we've got the logo there. So let's just inspect that logo really quick, have a look at what it looks like. So it's in the header class logo, and it's the button, so that's easy enough. So it doesn't have any classes. That makes our life way easier. Well, a little easier. Anyways, so let's say logo.class name equals, yeah, and now we're going to throw in a ternary, and we'll say logo.class name equals that question mark. So if it is equal to nothing, we're going to say egg active. Or if it's already equal to egg active, we'll set it back to nothing. And that's it. That's our toggle function. Effectively 2 lines of code. Pretty easy. Next up, we got to bind that function to the appropriate element. So we are going to use query selector for that and say header dot, what am I doing? Why don't we bring this over here so then we can actually see what we're doing. That's going to make our life a lot easier. So header dot logo and the button that's inside it. Oh no. Yeah, that's fine. It's the only button, so that'll work. So dot add event listener. You know, why don't we throw this in a variable just to make it a little cleaner. Yeah, and then we don't even really need that current target business. We can just say, oops, doop doodly doo. So logo equals that. We can get rid of that. We don't need the event argument anymore. Bring it on back and logo.add event listener. And on the click event, we're going to say toggle egg. And that, ladies and gentlemen, of which there are none, but it's okay. Toggle egg, and that ought to do the trick. So let's try clicking on it. And like that, there's the egg active class, and it's gone again. Class, gone. Class, gone. And now the rest of it's all going to be CSS. So we can big it again. And in main.css, let's put it with the existing logo stuff. Logo button, and right there. Right down here at the bottom, let's say header dot logo button dot egg active. So let's make something real simple go down first. Why don't we define an animation, which, if I'm being honest with you guys, I totally don't remember how to do. I know how to do transitions, but animations are a little different because you got to define keyframes and stuff. It's pretty straightforward. I know I've done it before, I just can't remember how. Hey, how's it going? Good to see you back. I said, what was it you just did? Oh, I just made it so if we inspect this element here, we can see, because it doesn't actually do anything yet, but watch this button here in the inspector. When we click on it, it just toggle and click it again. It just toggles that egg active class. I was saying just before you came in that I've only got about 30 minutes this stream, just because, oh man, and we're already 10 minutes in, yikes. So I've only got 30 minutes this stream just because I've got to pick my mom up at the airport actually. But I'm gonna keep pushing and try and do another one tomorrow again, 9:30. So let's dive right back into it and just have a quick look. Animation. All right, W3 schools, let's do it. Yeah, it's kind of embarrassing, but I don't remember how to do this, so oh well. So keyframes example. Okay, cool. All right, sounds good, man, thanks. So first up, let's make our animation. Oh, look at that. VS Code already auto-corrects it for me, that's cool. Nice. So we're gonna call this one logo Easter egg. What do we want to animate? Let's say from, yeah, okay, I gotcha. From maybe, Transform has a rotate function. Yeah, it does, I thought so. Rotate 0 degrees to transform, rotate 360 degrees, oops, degrees. So what this should do, oh, well, actually it's not gonna do anything yet because we got to apply it to the animation still, or to the element. So we just have to say animation name and duration. Easy enough, so animation name is logo Easter egg, and animation duration, let's make it pretty fast for our first test, just so it's going to be real obvious. That should be enough. That should be all that we need. Close that out now. Reload this, and moment of truth, click the logo, and there you go. Does a little spin. Oh, right, because I've got it on a, oh, I think there's another property we need, animation repeat or something. That's not it. Animation, oh, maybe iteration count. Well, we don't want the WebKit ones, we just want this one. There you go, infinite. Thank you, VS Code. Hope I'm around when you stream. I'm looking forward to catching the phaser game making. Yeah, that's, honestly, I'm looking forward to that too. I'm really looking forward to getting onto the games. I like web development, don't get me wrong, but I'm ready to get into the games. That's what I really want to be doing. For anybody watching this later, we're going to be doing game development primarily on this channel, and yeah, that's really what I want to get into. This is just kind of a little thing to help it all move along smoothly, and it's my website that I got to finish off, and once it's finished, which it's very close to being finished, then we can get cracking on the games. That'll be the fun part. Anyways, let's test this out again. So click it, and okay, so I think it's using some kind of timing function that's it must be using ease or something, because it kind of slows it. It's not like a continuous thing. It kind of does a boop, 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 instead of a doop, 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 if that made any sense at all. Also, the outlines on it still, which I think I'm going to get rid of. So that we actually are just going to apply right up here to the header logo button. And we want to say outline none. Get back down to our animation business. Let's just make sure that worked, which I'm sure it did. There you go. Or Actually, you know what? I've got a better idea for the state management. We don't need JavaScript at all for this. Let's just clear that out completely, because we're going to use a cool little CSS trick, which is instead of egg.active, we're going to use the active state, which is an actual state that CSS gives you out of the box. It's really cool. You can actually do some really cool stuff on this. There's a project that is totally top secret and I can't talk about, but I will mention one cool thing that we did in that project was if you ever need a site to be able to do any kind of dynamic functionality that requires some kind of state, which is like this is an example of that. If you ever need something like that, but you can't use JavaScript, you can use this in CSS. It's really cool. I'll show you what it'll end up doing in a minute here. So we just refresh it, watch it not work. Oop. Yeah, it's not quite right. Not what I was hoping for. Do I have the wrong state? Is it active or what is it? Shoot. Just go through these and see which one it is. This might not work actually. Whoops, after all that. Okay, sorry, you know what? Let's keep the JavaScript because that was working and I'm short on time tonight. All right, keep that JavaScript, bring it on back. Okay, my bad, sorry about that, viewers. We're at 16 minutes, okay. Got about 13 minutes to get this done. So what are we thinking? Do we want to try and get a bit cooler of an animation than that for an Easter egg? That's not really the coolest Easter egg in the world yet, is it? We want something kind of neater than that. GX Evolved, have you got any ideas for what might be a neat animation on this one? I'm not too sure. I was kind of thinking it'd be cool to do something with the lines and the dot on the inside of the logo, because this logo actually isn't an image file, it's actually all HTML. If you look at it, that's what the logo looks like right there in markup. Actually, one thing I do want to try and change right here, we'll just say animation timing function. Animation timing function. Oh Lord, okay, which of these do, wow, there's a lot of cubic Bezier ones. Linear, that's what we want. Because linear, if you're familiar with graphs in math, it just is a straight line going like that with a slope of some kind. And so in this case, I am totally flying by the seat of my pants here, but I'm hoping it's just going to do that slow, continuous rotation instead of that kind of jump rotation. We'll see how it works. Could the dot draw something? That would take more work. Yeah, having the dot draw something, we could do that, but it would take just a little bit more time. Anyways, there you go. That's the just regular sort of rotation. Oh, you know what would be, yeah. Sorry guys, this might turn out to be kind of a lamer stream. I'm kind of running out of ideas. I should have tried to think of some beforehand, but I guess we could make it, what? What if we made it spin and jump, like move to a random spot somewhere on the screen? That is probably doable in 10 minutes. Oh, that was great. He knew to do the timing function linear. Thanks. Yeah, it's just the other one I think it was using by default is ease, which is why it was kind of like turning and like kind of briefly slowing down for a second there and then turning again instead of just a continuous thing like that. I think the site looks great. You're creating your brand. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to do is just, brand myself a little bit. And I don't know. You know, You know what, one thing I want to try and do here, I'm not sure if this is going to work, but I think if we throw a transition on this logo as well as an animation, it might do us, when it stops, because right now you see when you click it, it spins, but when you click it again to stop it, it just jumps back to where it was instead of finishing off the rotation. I'd like to see if we can get it to finish off that rotation. So to do that, I'm thinking let's say transition transform, because that's what we're using to rotate it, and the amount of time we want it to take to get back, let's just say 0.5 seconds again. So that might be slow in some cases, but I think it'll be all right. Oh, did it work? Ah, it didn't work. Well, that theory got debunked real quick. Yeah, that doesn't work. Okay, well, we tried. Hit and miss, or not miss, just a miss, not a hit. That's okay. Well, so GX Evolve, since you're the only viewer, what would you want to see for the last 8 minutes of this stream? I can try and make this animation do something a little bit cooler, or I could even just walk you through what I've done on this site so far. I'd be happy to do that. It's kind of up to you, really. You are the sole viewer. And again, I'm crushing energy drinks as per usual. I can't help it, they're so good. There's one little, oh, you want a phaser preview? All right, we can do that. So, Okay, let me just check if I've got any phaser projects on this computer. Wouldn't be in websites, it would be in games. Let's see. Okay, so I've got this project here, which I started with a phaser boilerplate project. Preview of what is to come, yeah. So I used a boilerplate project for this, which is basically just kind of like a little baseline project that gets you started a little bit quicker. But I think, oh, like the goals and stuff. Okay. Yeah, so like with the games, really what I'm going for is I'm trying to make them something that can be, they're kind of multifaceted, you know? What I'm hoping is that different people from different disciplines will get different things out of them. Something that will help you when the time comes, yeah. Yes, like so the way I'm sort of thinking it's gonna work is like, you know, artists might want to reuse like pieces of the artwork or whatever. Musicians could like remix the songs from them, excuse me. Yeah, and thanks, dude. And yeah, so like the way I see it is just that different people will get different use out of them. And so, you know, developers is really obvious because they're all code projects. So, you know, like a more seasoned developer who's really comfortable contributing to open source projects might say, you know, this is really cool. I want to like contribute to this so I can get something to put on my resume maybe to make it easier to get a job. Or I just really love the open source community and I want to give back a little bit. That's that's kind of what I'm trying to do with these projects in a way as well, is just give back to the open source community, because it's been so monumentally helpful throughout the course of my career. It's just, if it wasn't for the open source community, I don't think I'd be able to do nearly as much stuff as I'm able to do currently. And yeah, that's all just because there's all these people out there contributing their code and whatnot, just for the sake purely of making like the best technology they possibly can, without really like money getting involved that much. It does still get involved a little bit, as it always does, because it has to, but still. Yeah, and like I'm sort of also hoping that these games could serve as educational material if, say, you were like someone who was new to game development and didn't really know how to do stuff yet. I'm thinking these projects could be little boilerplates of their own. So something I started doing a really long time ago, actually, before I was like super into developing my own games, is I would make mods for Halo 1. Although I think actually at that point I was making my own games a little bit. But anyways, the point is, making mods of an existing game helped me further my understanding of game development as a whole, and kind of get an idea of like what other game developers were doing, and like and just how changing stuff sort of, you know, if I change this, what does that look like in the game that someone else has made? And it's just, yeah, it was a good way, it was a good learning tool, you know? And yeah, that was probably a little bit I probably beat it around the bush a little bit and over talked, as I do, but yeah, hopefully that made sense. How will you start the first stream? The setup, more or less? That's right, yeah. The first stream, what we're going to be doing is setting up the first project using this wonderful, wonderful tool called Webpack. If you've never heard of Webpack, it's, well, that's what it does right there, is it bundles your whatever, your assets, your scripts, your blah, 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 blah. It takes all of your code, which you can write with like you can use all kinds of like cool stuff, like you can use ES6 plus JavaScript, which is like the really newer JavaScript that has like full object-oriented programming and all that kind of stuff built into it. And you can use, what are they called? Loaders, I think. You can use the Babel loader in particular, which is another tool we're going to be setting up. This one here, Babel.js. So basically it just gives you a perfect example right here, is it takes this JavaScript, oops, oh no. Hang on, I'm gonna refresh it so it just keeps typing on its own. So this is what very modern JavaScript looks like, and this is what the older, more compatible JavaScript looks like on the right side. So it takes this JavaScript and it does what's called it transpiles that JavaScript from new JavaScript to old JavaScript. So you get to write this, but this is what the browser sees. And yeah, we're going to be writing all of our games in the much newer, nicer to look at JavaScript. So the code I'll be writing for the games will be a lot nicer than this junk I've been writing on my website. The only reason I don't use it on my website is because my website isn't a Node project. It's just using Jekyll, and that's it, really. So to use all this stuff, you need to use another tool called NPM, Node Package Manager, which is kind of what the whole JavaScript ecosystem is starting nowadays to be based on. And it's really solid. It's really amazing. You do, if you go a little, it's easy to go overboard with it, because you can like start installing dependency after dependency. And I don't know if you remember from my last stream, I think I had a little spiel about how you shouldn't rely on libraries too much, or at the very least, you should understand how they work so that you can create them yourself if need be. But another reason you shouldn't rely too heavily on libraries is you can make your projects way too bulky really quickly. I think you were saying about Bootstrap, maybe. Because Bootstrap's a good example of unnecessary bulk in a project. Sometimes it's necessary, but a lot of the times it's not. So that's interesting about modding. I heard it's a great way to start. Yeah, and it's interesting. I've seen this in learning React blogs or blogs about React. Yeah, exactly. React uses almost the exact same tooling as what I'm going to be using for these games. The only difference is instead of using the React library, we're going to be using the Phaser library, which I think I showed you guys last time, but if not, here it is again. Yeah, so that's pretty much it. Please join up. What is that? Interesting. They've got a little donate page now. That's new. Anyways, I'll throw links to all of this stuff in the Twitch chat so you guys can investigate it more on your own if you would like. But I have to run now, I'm afraid. I am running out of time, and I'm actually a little bit further away from home than I originally meant to be, so it's a little bit longer of a drive to the airport. Sorry, Mom. Anyways, there we go. Dude, I'm so glad, I'm so glad you're into it. That honestly, it makes a world of difference to me just having one person, yourself, into it as much as you are. Like that, truly, man, that's big for me. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. Read up on Phaser. Yeah, definitely do it, man. But anyways, yes, I do have to run. So yeah, have a really good night. And the next stream will be a little bit better planned out, and I'll it won't be like this. So thanks for bearing with me on this one. Yeah, have a great night, GX Evolved, and anyone watching this in the future. All right, adios.